Hello everybody, it's June, and finally time for my April and May collection update videos. It's going to be split into two videos this time, because I only got one DVD, so that will be in a video with CDs, and then video games will be its own video. Crystal's here.
So
She'll be here for this one DVD and then the whole video games movie, or video games video. She'll disappear for the CDs. Like I said, it'll only be two videos this time. I figured, why not? Because I didn't want to make just a video for one DVD. So we'll go ahead and start with that DVD. It's actually one she bought, so she can definitely talk more about this. I mean, I watched this.
I don't have that much to say.
I watched this a bit as a kid, but she definitely watched it a significantly much larger amount than I did.
Yes.
It's a spotlight collection of Tom and Jerry, just apparently 5 hours of just select episodes from the show.
Yeah, I watched it a little bit when I got it.
I actually think I like the actual DVD cover a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's just select episodes. It's just a random selection of episodes.
Yeah, they have the Gene Kelly thing, and like the other animation to live action.
Oh yeah, they have that. That's right.
Things that they've done with Tom and Jerry before, and they have like other things like their Academy Award winning shorts and stuff like that. But I've always grown up with Tom and Jerry my whole entire life, and I've seen the show 10 billion quadrillion times to the point where I can just hear the sound effects and the music, and I know exactly what episode it is, and I know exactly what's going on. So, like, I don't know, I've just watched it that much because it was on TV for that much.
Yeah, I remember it being on TV a lot too. Again, it is just a select few. It's not
Yeah.
like there were a few episodes I recognized, but there were a lot of other really popular ones that weren't on here.
Yeah,
So,
like...
but they had probably one of the most famous episodes with Tom going to hell.
Oh yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
You mean when he's trying to get into heaven?
Yeah, he's trying to get into heaven.
And trying to get Jerry to sign this contract.
And he does, but then it's like right
It's
at the
too
last
late,
second.
yeah.
But really, really cool to have just a little piece of Tom and Jerry. We found this at Walmart, actually. And it was like, wasn't this like $10 or something really cheap?
It was.
But they had a like 2 Looney Tunes ones there, too.
Yeah, they have like the Looney Tunes collection.
And I really, I haven't seen Looney Tunes in ages, so I really want to buy those just to have them. But
yeah.
It is what it is. It's cool. But yeah, really, really cool to have Tom and Jerry. I mean, more for Crystal than me, but still.
Yeah.
Still really nice.
Oh, and let me add that this is like the MGM Tom and Jerry. Because there's different eras of Tom and Jerry. But this was like, yeah.
Oh.
Like different animation studios.
Oh, okay.
So this is specifically the older, like...
The original.
The original ones. Not the...
Well, the original ones are the ones that people remember more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Not that one card. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. I'll be here for 3 hours.
That's our only DVD. So Crystal's going to go disappear for a little bit now.
Okay.
And she will return with the video games video. All right, moving on to CDs. They're actually less than normal here too, so this one won't be insanely long either. This whole video probably won't be too terrible. We have 8 CDs here, as opposed to 1,000. There is only 3 non-Prog Power CDs here, and both bands have played Prog Power before. So, yeah. But we'll go ahead and get started with the first CD here. Funnily enough, this is the new opener for Wednesday night, I believe. The new opening band, actually, because the original band, Iron Mask, had to cancel due to something. I don't completely understand what it is. But this is the band that replaced them, and I'm actually happy about it because I think they're a better band. It is Ancient Bards, and this is their very first album, The Alliance of the Kings, with the subtitle The Black Crystal Sword Saga Part 1. Every single album of theirs follows the Black Crystal Sword Saga. So their first 3 tell a story, and then their newest one is actually an origin story to all of this. So I decided to get their first one and start from there. I've actually heard of this band before. Their singer, who's a female, played a part in one of the Ayreon albums that I really like, The Theory of Everything. So I've been wanting to actually check these guys out for a little while. They were announced for Prog Power, so I was pretty hyped. You know, this was a pretty good album. There were about yeah, there are a few songs I liked a lot on here. I was kind of surprised. It's really good power metal, really good symphonic power metal, but they use death growls occasionally. I'm not huge on that, but this I can tolerate because the singer's so good. But songs on here I like, we got, oh, that reflection. We got Only the Brave, Frozen Mind, Nightfall in Icy Forest, which is an intro to this Lode al Padre, or Padre song. And then Daltor the Dragon Hunter and Faithful to Destiny are all pretty good. Yeah, pretty good introduction. I definitely like these guys just from one CD. I like them more than Iron Mask, so I'm definitely hyped to see these guys now. But really cool. Then we go on to one of the non-prog power bands, but it's a band who's played prog power before, and it actually also completes their discography. I was able to find these two CDs total for pretty reasonable on eBay, and I got super excited because I've wanted to have this band's entire discography since before I even saw them. But it's actually Eclipse, one of my favorite bands right now, and I actually got their first two albums finally. The first one here, The Truth and a Little More, and their second album, Second to None. I actually, a long time ago, had the chance to get Second to None on eBay, but somebody outbid me on it. So, pretty cool to have it finally. I'll just say right now, I enjoyed every song on both these CDs, just like every other album of theirs. I like every song. The one thing I will say is they sound a lot more 80s rock, like hair metal-ish on these albums, which makes sense because that's kind of what they started as. Plus their third album kind of sounds like that, but has its moments that are really good, and then everything after that is just flawless. Bleed and Scream, Armageddon Eyes, and Monumentum are all great. But I guess even though I said all the songs are really good, we'll go through them. This is the first album, The Truth and a Little More. Midnight Train, The Truth, The Only One, Message of Love, I Believe in You, I Thought I Had It All, The Way I Feel, Songs of Yesterday, A Little More, Too Far, How Many Times, and I Won't Hide. Notice they have a song called The Truth and a song called A Little More. Kind of funny that they did that, calling the album that. But the second album here, Second to None, Always Standing, All I Do, the title track, Second to None, Streets of Gold, I'll Ask for You, Nothing Between Us, that's actually a really, really good song. Road to Forever, Body and Soul, Light of Day, Season of Life, Better World, and the bonus track, Masterpiece Girl. Both really, really good albums. They're probably my least favorite, even though they're still really good, of their albums. But really, 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 really cool to have these two CDs, because I finally completed this discography, so I'm super happy about that. Alright, moving on, back to prog power bands. We go on to the second band on Saturday. And it's actually one of the only bands, or it's actually the only band during the main festival that actually played the very first prog power. There are two of them. You'll actually see the other one here in a little bit. The other band that played the first prog power. But it's actually Jagdpanzer, some good old American power metal. The album is called Thane to the Throne. This is actually a much older album than I have. I have their most recent album, but this album is from 2000. I decided to look up like ratings for CDs, and this was one of the higher rated ones. This CD is actually a concept album based on Macbeth, the Shakespeare play. It's also a like promotional copy for reviewers and all that other stuff. I like how it says any sale is unlawful of this, but if you look up, you can sell them. I'm super confused about like copyright, but this isn't the only promotional copy of a CD I have. The most recent Serenity album is also a promotional copy. I will say I think I like this album a little bit more, probably, than their most recent one, but it was a little weird because it's basically Macbeth. But it was pretty good. We'll go through the songs I liked on here. We got King at a Price right here. Spectres of the Past right here, track 6. Three Voices of Fate, track 8 right here. Hell to Pay, track 9. Fate's Triumph, track 15, and then the finale track that's 8 minutes long, Tragedy of Macbeth, which basically just retells the whole story. This CD actually has like 17 tracks because it has a bunch of instrumentals and like shorter tracks, but still really really cool. It's pretty good. I do want to check more of these guys out because they are better than I expected. So it's pretty cool. But nice CD to have, even if it's a promotional copy. I mean, I would have rather had, a full case, but it is what it is. Still really cool to have. Alright, then we go on to the headliner for Wednesday night. And it's actually a band I really enjoyed the first album of theirs that I heard. And I actually picked this one up, even though it isn't one of their higher rated ones. It's just got a song on here that I heard years ago, actually when I first heard of Prog Power back in 2011. It was actually 2012. These guys were right before the headliners, and I heard the sample song and fell in love with it. It's on this album, so I picked this one up next. It's actually Pretty Maids, and their album from 2010. This is a re-release from 2014. This is Pandemonium. Really good CD. Not a bad song on this one either. So the two albums I have so far have been really good. But like I said, every song on here is good. The title track, Pandemonium. I Envy You, which I didn't realize was literally what it meant. Like, I envy you. Like, anyway. And then this song right here, Little Drops of Heaven. This is the song that I heard years ago. Great song. One World, One Truth, Final Day of Innocence, Cielo Drive, It Comes at Night, Old Enough to Know, Beautiful Madness, and Breathless. And then this bonus track is just a remix of It Comes at Night. But really, really, really good CD. I want to get more of these guys. They actually just released a big old box set for a little bit. I might just honestly sell this CD and the new one that I have and just buy that maybe at some point. I don't know. Maybe. I'm thinking about it because the same Vandenplas, another band I really like, that I have one CD of, just did the same thing. So I might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how everything works out. Really, really cool to have this, though. Very, very good. These guys are going to be fun. Then we go on to the headliner for Thursday night. And a band I'm super hyped at seeing. Yeah, it's a band I've wanted to see for a while. It's actually Evergrey. I actually picked up 2 albums. I actually picked up, this is their 2011 album, Glorious Collision. And then this one, I actually bought this back in February, along with, and I forgot to mention this, but along with this Jag Panzer album. Jag Panzer came from Mexico. This came from Argentina or something like that, I believe. And for some reason, it took almost 2 months to get here. But I got them, which was kind of nice. And while I was waiting, because I was impatient, and because I wanted to get free shipping on this last CD here, I went and bought the very first one as well, The Dark Discovery. This is a re-release of this one. Now, I've heard good things about, the first couple Evergrays, although they're more power metal oriented. So we'll go ahead and start with that one, because I have a little bit to say about Glorious Collision. But like I said, this is a re-release of this album. And, for a debut album, it was actually pretty good. It wasn't their best. It was far from their best, but the songs on here I liked. It took a while to get started for me, for there to be a really good song. But track 7 here, Trust and Betrayal. And then When the River Calls, track 9. And then For Every Tear That Falls, track 10, were all really, really good. Otherwise, it was decent. Like, it wasn't fantastic, but I still enjoyed it. I do intend to get all of their albums at some point. After having these 2, I'm only missing their second one and like 2 more. So I'm only missing like 3, I think. Or is it 4? I think it's 3. I think it is 3. But really, really cool to have this, actually. And then we have the other one, Glorious Collision. Now there's actually a reason I wanted to save this one for last. It's because this is actually one of their lowest, regarded albums. Like, people did not like this one. And I was actually impressed with it. It's not my favorite. I still think their newer stuff is better. But this was actually a lot better than I expected. But songs on here I really liked. Leave It Behind Us is actually a really fun song, and they do it live quite often, so I might be hearing that when I see them at Prog Power. Wrong, Frozen, Restoring the Loss, To Fit the Mold, Out of Reach, The Phantom Letters, It Comes From Within, I'm Drowning Alone, and The Distance down here. And then there's actually a bonus track, which is the same song and The Distance, but with his, well, she was his wife at the time, the lead singer's wife, singing the song. They're no longer together. But this is a really fun album. I actually really enjoyed this. It's this one and the album actually the two of the albums previous to this were lowly rated, and those are the only two of the three albums of theirs that I don't have, along with their second album, Solitude, Dominance, Tragedy, which is actually really highly regarded. So I'll probably be buying that one next. Maybe we'll see. I might buy all three of them at Prog Power if they have them. But really, really, really cool to have this. I love these guys a lot. It's going to be a fun show, for sure. And then our last CD here is an album I was hyped for, super hyped for as soon as it was announced, because of who it is. And yeah, this album definitely did not disappoint. It's the new Devin Townsend, Empath. This is actually a 2-disc album with a bunch of demos, just like the last album. Just like Transcendence had. But this is his new solo project, which with a bunch of guests, including the lead singer of Nickelback, which you can't even tell he's on there, but it has like a solo from Steve Vai on here, a couple different drummers, including one like semi-famous YouTuber that drums, 66 Samus, if you've heard of him. I'm trying to remember who else has like parts on this, because there's actually quite a bit. Annika Van Giersbergen's in it again. The chick he did Casualties of Cool with is in it. That's it. That is it. Okay. But really, really cool. And I love this artwork in the booklet. Like, this artwork is so good. But songs on here I like. I'm still like really mixed about this album, because it was like the stuff I liked is some of his best stuff. But this album is so all over the place, from like prog rock to freaking extreme metal. It's pretty wild. I'm not sure where I'd rank it in his CDs, but I did really, really enjoy it. You know, Castaway and Genesis, Castaway, just an intro to Genesis, is really good. This song, Spirits Will Collide, is phenomenal. It's one of his better songs, apparently dedicated to anybody with depression and anxiety. It's really good, really deep song, actually. Evermore here is really good. And then Requiem and Singularity here, which is 6 tracks, all equating out to like a 20-minute song. That whole song is very, very, very good. Yeah, this album is something else, man. I'm not 100% sure what I want to say about this album, because I got to give it another listen. But it's definitely like, he's another guy or another musician that I think gets better with age. I don't know, because I really like Transcendence, and I really like Epic Cloud and stuff, and at least the Sky 2 part of, or Sky Blue part of Z2. But this is a very, very good album. I haven't listened to the bonus tracks, though, but I'm not too worried about it. Maybe I'll do it someday. We'll see. But really, really good album. And that's actually the last CD. And that is it for my DVD and CD collection update for April and May of 2019. We will be back with the second and last part of video games, and Crystal will be back. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. Nothing quite like, Earthbound, but still some pretty cool stuff in here. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.